What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen many Chicago Bulls games now where the Chicago Bulls are playing some exceptional basketball. And although we are still 5 games, I believe, below 500, and there's still a long way to go in the season, my question is, if the Bulls continue to play in this way, where can we potentially see ourselves by closer towards the end of the season? We are going to be discussing these things in this video. But before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and whether or not you believe the Bulls can really find a common standing ground in competing in the NBA playoffs and competing for those playoff positions. Right now, as we speak, we are still, I believe, out of the play-in tournament, let alone the NBA playoffs. I believe we are 12 and 17. We are 5 games below 500. We start off the season very poorly, but we pick things up for the most part in these last, I would say, 10-ish games. And it's been phenomenal to watch as a Bulls fan. Now, we've got to keep in mind, this video is purely based on whether or not the Bulls can keep up this level of play. At the end of the day, every team has their ups moments and their down moments. Right now, you're seeing teams like the Spurs, teams like Detroit. Detroit are literally in the worst situation I think they've ever been in as an NBA team. I think their losing streak is massive. And again, you know, eventually they're going to break out of that, and eventually they're going to start winning some games, if you know what I mean. Even if it's not many, they will start to break out of that. The Bulls had one of the worst starts to a season in recent history, yet they found a way to pick things up in the later part of this season as of now, where we are right now in present day. Teams like the Lakers, again, you can look at the Lakers right now. We just beat them this today. But the Lakers are a team that at the end of the day won the in-season tournament trophy, came back into the regular season, and has gone on a losing streak in many ways. I think right now they're 1-4 in their last 5 games, and they are on a 3-game losing streak. So again, ups and downs. You know, Boston have a terrific home record, undefeated at home, but they don't necessarily have the most amazing away record. You get the idea, right? Everybody's going to have their ups and downs, and the Bulls are going to fit in that category. But if they can keep up this style of play, a few things are going to happen for the Chicago Bulls. A, people are going to start to develop. You've already seen it. In the last game against the Lakers, 8 people entered double figures. Everybody felt like they could contribute. Everybody felt like they belonged. Everybody felt like they mattered. And therefore, that elevated every single person's game. How often do you see a game where 8 people are in double figures? I'll tell you what. Even for the Chicago Bulls, it's not going to happen that often anymore, if you know what I mean. You might see 6, maybe you might see, 4 people in double figures, but you don't often see 8. That's crazy. But at the end of the day, it does show, in the Chicago Bulls standpoint at least, that people are valuing their roles and their contributions to the team, and that everybody feels trusted enough to make a difference. That is obviously a key thing here. And as long as we're seeing that, we are going to be competing in games. We are going to fight for every game. And more often than not, we will win games compared to losing games. It is as simple as that. There is often a question as well about whether or not we can get figured out. Let's say this playing style has worked out so good for the Chicago Bulls because it's so new and teams haven't adjusted to the way that we play yet. There's always a threat that you can get founded out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this in the kindest way possible. We might be able to get found out eventually. It's, of course, the Bulls team with Lonzo, Zach, DeMar, and Vooch. You could argue towards the later parts of Lonzo Ball's time with the Bulls before he got hurt, we were getting found out. We got destroyed by the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors, the back-to-back games. I won't forget that. You might say we were slowly getting found out in that department. But when you're seeing contributions like this, when you're seeing 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in double figures, I'm sorry, even if you find it out, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to stop it. What do I say about predictability? It's okay to be predictable as long as you're too good for other teams to stop it. There are some moments in basketball that you can't stop, no matter how predictable it may be. If you're going to put Giannis Antetokounmpo, I guess you're going to switch guards onto Giannis, what's going to happen? Giannis is going to drive to the basket and slam the ball. It's predictable, yes. James Harden likes to think so. Again, that's completely off the topic. But, it's predictable. Giannis sometimes plays a predictable game. But it's too good to stop. and no one can stop it. So who cares if it's predictable if it works? For the Chicago Bulls, yeah, eventually we might get found out. I don't think we will get found out if we play this exact same style, because there's so many key elements into the Chicago Bulls that actually allows us to do what we do. Coby White got found out in the pick and roll against the Lakers. There were a lot of deflections and really bad passes that Coby White made in the pick and roll to Nikola Vucevic. That from the Lakers was a good scouting tactic there. But there were other elements in the game that allowed us to win that game. So even if we do get found out in every single way possible, if it's too good to stop, it is too good to stop. So I'm not worried right now about being found out. The only real issue I have for the Chicago Bulls is this a situation where we're seeing the highs of the highs and we know there's a low to come? Is it that we're playing this brand of basketball so amazingly well during this period? Can they keep that up? That is my worry. That is my concern. Because if they can't keep it up, it kind of shows what a young team can be and what we may have to destine ourselves in the future. A young team can be inconsistent. They could go on massive highs. They could go on massive lows. And that is something we're going to have to brace if we're going to go into a direction of going younger. It is as simple as that. But if they can keep this up, this style of basketball, look at the teams that we're beating right now. We have beaten the Miami Heat twice in the season. We have beaten the Milwaukee Bucks once. We have beaten the Philadelphia 76ers. We have beaten the LA Lakers. I mean, Philly and LA back-to-back is a very tough schedule. We've been through a lot of tough schedules and we've come out of it with a positive record. That's all you can ask for from this Bulls team. When you want this Bulls team to defend home court, and they do, that's all you can ask for from this Bulls team. So with all that being said, the teams that we have beaten, the teams that we have proven to beat, if we can keep up this style of play, eventually the schedule is going to start, easing up a little bit. We're not going to be versing every single difficult team out there imaginable. And we could have some games where you feel like, okay, this is a potentially a must-win game for the Chicago Bulls. This is potentially a game where you actually see us as the favorites in. I'll be honest with you. When I'm thinking of the Bucks, Miami, Philly, and the Lakers, I don't think the Bulls are the favorites in those games. Yeah, we're playing really, really well, but there's still that element of doubt in me that we are the favorites to walk out of every single one of those games with a win, and they are proving me wrong in that instance every single time they play. Eventually, when that schedule starts to ease up a little bit, you get some favorable opponents. Maybe you get some opponents that unfortunately are dealing with those injuries, and we can take advantage of that. That's just how the NBA is. I don't like to say that, but that is just as simply as it can be. That's just how it is. No team is going to feel sorry for us. We're not going to feel sorry for any other team. That's just how the NBA seems to go. Even though, as a person myself, I could feel sorry for a team. But NBA teams are still going to do what they have to do. Maybe we get some of those opponents by January or by February. I could seriously, honestly say, if we keep up this level of play, we could be a threat to participate in a playoff position. I really feel like, again, 5 games below 500 at this point is not the end of the world. It really isn't. 10 games below 500 where we were is a massive deal. We fought our way back to 5 games below 500, and we've got a schedule that should be easing up a little bit from now in January and in February. And those are the months where maybe we can start taking advantage of some of those games. Of course, there's no guarantees in the NBA. There's no guaranteed victories in the NBA. But knowing the competitive spirit we're bringing to each and every single game, knowing the teams that we are beating right now, I really do hope that consistency can shine through for these players and they deliver some of those exact same results against some of the lesser opposition that we have seen in the past already, like the Charlotte and the Spurs and stuff like that. No disrespect to those teams, but hopefully those calibers of teams, we will be able to take care of business there. And if we can do that, we are going to be a serious threat in the Eastern Conference to compete for a playoff spot. That 6th seed, I'm looking at that 6th seed right there. And I think that is possible if we keep this level of play up. And you're looking at the play-in tournament. Of course, that could be a situation we could be in if we keep this up. And we'll see how it goes. I'm not going to go over the top because there's always going to be problems with a team. And no team is going to be perfect. And you are going to lose some games that you're supposed to win. And you are going to lose some games that you're supposed to lose. The Bulls are not going to come here and go on a 70-game winning streak. You know what I mean? Or a 60-game winning streak. It's just not going to happen. But at the end of the day, I still think there is enough in this team to be fighting for a playoff spot. And the way that we're playing, the motivation this team has to get there, it's a good sign. And I'm looking forward to seeing where this Bulls team can take us. But no matter what the record is, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the performances, enjoy the ride, because you don't know when things can change. So enjoy what's put in front of you. I'll see you in the Spurs game, and hopefully we can have some fun there. Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. See you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.